Hello, everyone. Today I'll be looking at those questions that I got from people and trying to give answers to them as best as I can. Let's jump right into it. Number one, what's the last movie you watched? At this moment, the last movie I seen was Funny People with Adam Sandler and Seth Rogen. I think it's a pretty underappreciated movie. It has some flaws, like the length of it and the structure. Like they could have structured it a little bit differently and it would have came out shorter, and I think that would have helped the pacing a little bit. But of Adam Sandler's movies, it's one of the better ones, I'd say. And it was the last good one he had before he had that string of like really bad movies like um, Grown Ups and Jack and Jill and Ridiculous Six. So overall, I'd say I like it. Um, Number two, what or who inspires you to make your blog slash content? Nobody in particular. The blogs were just me wanting to make some content for on my website and have something to put up there and work on and make my website better and give myself some experience. And the videos were just a last minute addition. I was just going to do the blog, and then I decided that people might want a different way to take in what I'm writing, so I decided to make videos. So I can't really say there's anyone in particular that inspires me for it. Um, though if I had the time to, I guess there's like a couple of content creators on YouTube that maybe I would say I take inspiration from, like Nerd Writer or like Film Joy, people that talk about movies, I guess. Um, Number three, what motivates you to keep making content? It's just dedication to myself. I made a schedule, and I'd be letting myself down if I didn't stick to it. Um, that's why I try to put something out each week, even if it's not always like something huge or of high quality. Most of the time, it's just something small and easy. Uh, Top five underrated films. I'm not going to give a top five because that could be a post on its own. And I already mentioned Funny People. Um, but I'll give one more film that I think is underrated, and that's The Men Who Stare at Goats. I love that movie. It's extremely funny, absurd, over the top, uh, but it plays like a Coen Brothers film, even though it isn't them. And the cast is great, and it's just like it's ridiculous that it's based on like real things that happened. Obviously, it's exaggerated, but still, it's hilarious that anything close to what happens in that movie happened in real life. um, a movie that caught you by surprise: Sonic the Hedgehog. At this time, that's the last movie I seen in theaters. Um, I thought it was going to be horrendous, and it actually turned out to be pretty fun. It still could have been better, but I'm not upset with what we got. First thing you think of when I say the word pickle: the Little Rascals. That's all. Uh, what game are you currently playing? I just got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch, so I've been playing that when I've had other people around to play with. And on my own, I've been replaying through Super Mario 64 on the Switch in Super Mario 3D All Stars. That's been pretty fun so far. What show are you currently watching? I just started watching The Good Place. So far, it's pretty good. It's funny. I really like Kristen Bell and Ted Danson in it. They're great to watch. Um, and then I'll occasionally watch an episode of one of the Star Trek series, just as something that I can put on in the background because I've seen a lot of the episodes already. Um, what book are you currently reading? I haven't picked up a book in a while, but I had started reading A Storm of Swords, the third book in the Song of Ice and Fire series, the Game of Thrones. Um, but the last book that I finished was Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, which was a really good sci-fi book, and it had a movie that was based off it, and that's how I got into it because I really liked the movie. Next year, Stanley Cup predictions. It's so early, it's tough to make any call. But in the offseason so far, I like what Montreal and Toronto have been doing. But I think the East is going to go to Washington. I think they'll make it to the finals, but I don't think they're going to win. I think Vegas is going to have a rematch with them, and this time they're going to win. Obviously, this is too early to really say, but that's my prediction for now. Number 11, if you could only play one video game and watch one movie for the rest of your life, which one and why? The easy answer for me would be to pick my favorites, Majora's Mask and Big Fish. I think I'd be completely happy with just watching those the rest of my life. But I'll try to give something a little bit different. For a video game, I think I'd want something that's long and has like a lot of different ways you can play it, and that will just take up a lot of time. So I think like an RPG or an MMORPG would be good. So maybe I would finally put some time into World of Warcraft. I played it for like 2 months when I was younger, but that was about it. So maybe I would get into that if I could only play one game. As for a film, I'd go with Pulp Fiction. I love that movie already, but every time I rewatch it, I seem to pick up on something different that I didn't notice before. So I think that would be a good pick. What's your current go-to song? Lately, I've been listening to a very cheesy pop ballad by Rod Stewart. It's called Faith of the Heart. It was in the soundtrack for Patch Adams, and a cover of it was used as the theme song to Star Trek Enterprise. How are you doing through the pandemic? I'm good, thanks. Since starting work, it hasn't really felt too much like there's been a pandemic going on. There's like some little things, but overall, I've been so busy with work that it hasn't really made me notice it too much. And that's all the questions. So thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I hope I was able to give a sufficient answer to them. And thanks for watching.